Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Show. Today we're going to be making a raspberry upside down cake. I know, I've never made one either, so this is going to be a first time for all of us. So I'm going to make we're doing a pre-made today, so that way it's easy. We're going to be making a strawberry cake, only we're going to be putting raspberries in it. So that'll give it a nice tang. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 180 degrees Celsius. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to want to line our 8-inch square pan with parchment paper. Some people have a real problem with this. So you get a flat piece of parchment paper and you squinch it up into an itty bitty tiny ball, like so. And then you unfold it gently. Don't tear it. And that should be moldable right up into the corners without having to give it too much effort. It doesn't have to go all the way to the sides. This is just so the majority of the cake doesn't stick to the bottom. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to use this cake. I'm gonna make my own. So what we're gonna need is what are we gonna need? We're going to need about 170 grams or 6 ounces of fresh raspberries. We're going to need 3 eggs, a half a cup of oil, a half a cup of granulated white sugar, 2 cups of flour, and maybe 1 or 2 or 4 raspberries just for decoration. So, open these up. Set 4 aside. 1. These will be just for decoration. So, pick the nicest looking ones. 3, 4. And put those off to the side. And then in a medium-ish bowl, you're going to mix eggs, oil, sugar. Eggs, oil, and sugar. Okay. So we need 3 eggs. Now, if you've never cracked an egg before, which I don't know how you could have gotten away without cracking an egg this far, but I like to start on the countertop. Now first, let's go wash our hands, make sure everything is very clean. If you have any red food color, red food color or any other food color if you like. And I have purple food color. Let me see, I thought I had a red one in here somewhere. No, apparently I don't have food color. Stabby. No, I don't have any red food color. Okay. So we'll just have to forego the food color. At any rate, okay. So, in order to crack an egg, tap it just hard enough to crack one side. Uh-oh. Where's my butcher block? You crack the egg just hard enough to put a little tiny crack on one side of the egg. Should look like that. I don't know if you can see. And then you turn the egg so that your thumb is basically covering that little crack and crack the other side of the egg. And then what you do is you take your ring finger, push it into the egg, and twist like you're snapping your fingers. And you should, in theory, get all the egg out. And I got just one little tiny crumb. But if you do this quickly enough, you should be able to crack your eggs with one hand. Okie dokie. Eggs and sugar and oil. Let's get the oil out. I'll do the sugar first. Half a cup sugar. Let me see. Half a cup sugar. Now you can do this with a whisk, or what I like to use is a fork, and just kind of get everything incorporated. And then I'm going to add half a cup of oil. So 1/4, 1/2 cup of oil. And I bought some cool new spatulas yesterday from Target on sale for like half off. Could not pass that up. And now I'm going to mix in and then the flour. Now the flour needs to go in before the raspberries because you don't really want to break the raspberries up too much. So we're going to do 2 cups 2 cups of flour. I'm going to do 1 2/3 of a cup to begin with. Now, if your flour is anything like mine, it's kind of all clumped together, so I like to use my tongs or fork to get down to the bottom and just mix it up a little bit so it's nice and fluffy. 1, 2, 3. 1 cup to begin with. Use your fork. If you had a mixer, you could use a mixer. It's not necessary though, we're just getting everything incorporated, just barely. Okay, now I'm gonna do 2/3. 1 to begin with, and if we need more, you can add more, but you can't take it out. You can, but it can be very difficult. And because this is just like the banana upside down cake recipe, we don't have to use, and because we're not using the bananas, the raspberries are really going to give us all of the moistness of the cake. So take that into consideration. Hi, Gristle. How are you? Hi, Carrie Jo. Hello, Kelly R. How's it going, everyone? Are you having a nice day? All right, I'm going to grease my pan. I'm just going to take a little tiny blob of oil, little tiny glug of oil, spatula, kind of move it around the pan and up the sides. This is a non-stick pan, but you never know. You don't want your pan to get all cake to be stuck to the bottom of the pan. That's no fun. Put your parchment paper back in. All right, then take your raspberries. Fold them in gently, breaking a couple of them. You want to break them up just a little bit, but not like super amount, so that way it's like all juice. And it should look something similar to this. Okay. At this point, most people will tell you don't eat raw batter, whatever. Eat. Just have a taste to see if the raspberries are tart. That might be just perfect. Okay, so then I'm going to switch to a spatula. I'm going to put batter in the tin. Now, because this doesn't have any leavener in it, it shouldn't go very far up. So even if it came all the way up to the edges, it wouldn't really matter. Okay. And if you find that there was a little bit of batter in the bottom that didn't get any raspberry on it, that's okay because it'll look kind of cool when it comes out. Spatulate the top so that way it has kind of an even temperature, even thickness. Give it a couple of bangs on the bench, and then put this in a 350-degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. And while that is baking, we are going to clean the kitchen. I'm using the little toaster oven today to see if it is possible to cook a cake in the toaster oven. So we'll see how that goes. I forgot the vanilla. Oh well, it'll be fine. It'll be more, what do they call it? Scony. Okay, what is everyone saying? Hello, hello. Could you use a different kind of fruit? Yes, you can totally use a different type of fruit you can use. Bananas works the best. This is the first time I've done raspberry, but I've seen other people use different fruits, so I figured raspberry would be the next best thing. I've seen people use peach. I've seen people use apples. And so I don't know. We're going to see. I'm all covered in flour now. And just in case anybody's ever wondering why I'm pushing all the flour on the floor, because we have the maid comes tomorrow. Sorry, Maria, if you're ever watching this. All right. I've never used I've used the toaster oven to finish off a cake, but I've never used one to bake a cake. So we're gonna see how good it comes out. I hope it comes out good, because if it comes out good, I'll continue using the small pan and baking it in that oven instead. Carrie Jo. Have a great day. Started watching the fountain pen ink reviews. I found this. Oh, cool. Well, that's very exciting. Yeah, every once in a great while, I like to do a baking video. So this will not be a normal thing. I'm just saying. I usually do fountain pens, ink, and paper. And the occasional baking video. Not that it's a special occasion, but I thought it would be a nice Thursday occasion. Baking tips are all the rage these days. Learning how to bake is very important. Do you see Marilyn food cooking? Food cooking inks? Yes. All right. Actually, I totally lied. I just realized I have ink. I have food color upstairs. Oh well. And the really great thing about this recipe is I needed one. I needed 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of equipment. Can't go wrong with that. 5. Sorry, 5. 5 or 6, depending on if you count the parchment paper. All right. I hope that oven cooks good. I've never used it before to cook the cake. We're gonna see. I hope it does. While we're waiting, I'm gonna make some chicken and vegetables. Chicken and vegetables. Chicken and vegetables in the one pot. Do. Mustard. Some to Chris too. What's your favorite? Oh yeah, Chris is amazing. She is the one that got me into fountain penning paper stationery. I first saw her channel about 3 years ago, and she had just gotten back into the not habit, back into the hobby after a good long while. And she's the one I took great inspiration after to do my fountain pen ink and paper reviews. Now I'm all worn out. All right, so where's everyone from? Let's see. Hi, Matt. How are you doing today? Are you having a nice day? How's it going? All right. So this has been going for 28 minutes. I can't hear my. Good, yeah, cool. Let's go take a peek. Says it's got about 10 minutes left. There it is. There it goes. Well, it's warm. I can feel it. Well, that's good. All right. Well, that'll soon be done in a little bit. You're from California. Me too. Where at in California? I live 6 miles south of Disneyland. If I look out, well, not this window. If I look out the very corner of this window, I can see the Santa Ana Water Tower. So that gives you of where I am. Oh, you're from Seattle. Oh, that's fun. We have a friend, Gary Scott, that lives in Oregon. Seattle is in Washington. Oregon. Is Oregon south or north? I can't remember which one is where. Let's see. Oregon is south of Washington. Okay. Seattle. Oh, you're just straight north of where Gary lives. That's cool. Tempted to get a Twisby. Oh, they're wonderful fountain pens. They don't flex. So if that's a thing you like to do, the Twisbys don't flex. Knockoff kept cracking. Oh, that's terrible. Getting a Lamy Safari. Oh, that's good. What color? I have a Lamy Vista, and the Vista is a clear one, and I love demonstrators. But the problem with demonstrators is sometimes you get an ink in there that is ever so slightly a little more permanent than you'd like. And so it's kind of a shame if you have to get an ink that is permanent so much that it stains the grip section or the converter. But they are great workhorse pens, and the nibs are really easy to buy. and and change off. Yeah, Lamy nibs. Goulet has Lamy nibs. Whoa, 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 whoa. They have Lamy nibs. You said you got a Lamy knockoff. Was it a number 5 size nib, or was it the Lamy style nib? The Lamy style nib is like like this kind of a nib, and number 5 is kind of like this style of a nib. Right, fast. So I need a non-flexor. Thinking violet terracotta. Jinhao Lamy style. Okay. Well, I have a pen that is called the Yiren 401. That's YIREN 401, and it has a Lamy style nib on it with a rainbow nib instead of a regular steel nib. I forgot I can't show you there. Let me see. You're in 401. I'm going to try and show you guys. Okay. I don't know if you can see that good, but the tip is an extra fine, and it's got some sort of rainbow coating on it. It looks really cool. I do calligraphy, yes. I teach calligraphy. I teach modern basic calligraphy. I have an introduction to calligraphy course in my YouTube playlists. Kind of gives you an idea of where you might want to start if you're looking to do calligraphy. If you know what you want to do, I teach modern flex calligraphy. I don't do the broad edge. If you want to learn broad edge, I can recommend a couple of people. If you want to do flex calligraphy, then I can recommend a couple of people depending on what type of calligraphy you want to do. If you want to do sponge tip brush pens like the Pentel Touch Sign brush pen or the Tombow Fudenosuke, Blink Lettering, and the Happy Ever Crafter teach modern basic calligraphy. If you're trying to do dip pens, flex steel dip pen calligraphy, Lovelace Loops teaches Spencerian. Sorry, not Spencerian. They teach copper plate, copper plate calligraphy. If you want to learn flex spring steel flex ornamental penmanship, Mr. M.G. Ward does classes on how to do ornamental penmanship and engrosser script. If you want to learn very rigid copper plate, Paul Antonio teaches classes how to do that. I think I am the only teacher who teaches fountain pen calligraphy, flex fountain pen calligraphy. because I don't think there is any good reason that you can't get the same type of copper plate flex calligraphy that you can with a spring steel flex nib. The only difference is lines are going to be more like quadruple hairlines, I guess, you know. So that is the only difference. Oh, you are. How do you like it so far? Have you learned lots of things? I know I ramble on a little bit and I apologize for that, but I just get really excited. You have Paul's book. That's awesome. Yeah, there when you're learning calligraphy, he teaches a very rigid type of calligraphy. There's no room for errors when you're learning with Paul Antonio. There's just, I don't have time for people who don't want to learn my way of calligraphy. I understand that's fantastic and all, whatever. Like, the other thing is when you learn from those other people, they will, you pay them so that you can learn and you pay for them for their contacts because they will show you off to their friends to pay you to do calligraphy for them. So that is something that I don't do. I don't have many calligraphers who are friends that I don't make any money doing my calligraphy. And that is one of the whole points of my channel. I don't ever want people to feel like they have to pay someone to teach them a skill that they can learn for free elsewhere. I learned how to do free calligraphy from watching YouTube and also for paying for a class. And the only thing that I learned from that entire class was how to do an O, upstroke, and then around and through. That was the only thing that I learned in that entire class. And that's saying something. Because pretty much the only thing that I learned was that basic little thing, and everything else just becomes a little more rigid. I did learn how to use brush pens. I did learn how to use the pointed pen. I have learned how to do the broad edge pen, but I don't like those things. They're not my fun time, you know. I don't like having to dip my nib in ink and then get in the writing flow of writing something and then have to stop because I ran out of ink. I like to just keep going. And that is where I love fountain pens. Fountain pen calligraphy really should be more of a thing, right? Like, people need to understand that once you get in like the flow of something, you don't want to stop and dip. Plus, the other thing that happens is if you use fountain penning, like I do, and you want your letters to all have the same flowy consistency, you don't want to stop and dip because then, right where the end of where you started will be lighter than where you start. And that is really the only thing that upsets me about dip pen calligraphy. Yes, people can dip and do a stroke, and then dip and then do another stroke, and then dip and do another stroke. Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Pardon my French, but ain't nobody got time for that crap. So I think that fountain pen calligraphy needs to be more of a thing. And if you agree, give me a thumbs up. Oh, I hear my dinner. A little one pot. Let's see. What do we got? Yes, definitely. Good luck. I like it. I can feel your excitement and it helps. Oh, yeah. Paula has a very rigid, trouble keeping slanted. You gotta get the in that calligraphy class. There is a link to slant lines. If you download the slant lines and you can use it with almost any paper, and you can definitely see just a little bit through the paper. And if your paper is thick enough that you can't see the lines, use a different paper. That's all I can tell you. I have used it with CVS caliber notebook paper. I have used it with the Unison composition book from Target for 50 cents. Hi, Dr. Joe. How are you? This is Dr. Joe Vitolo. He is also a calligrapher. He teaches Spencerian, which is a wonderful, beautiful art. What was I talking about? Oh, keeping the slanted line. Yes. CVS caliber notebook paper, Unison composition book. Those are two of the cheapest papers that are in the United States right now. If you can find a cheap paper that does the same thing as Tomoe River, why would you pay that much more money? I understand that, like, if you want to do special art and you want to literally put milliliters of ink on the paper and like slosh it around and whatnot, that's great for doing that. But if you're trying to do just some regular old writing, then in practice, the CVS caliber notebook paper should be perfect. And the little ding went off. I can't tell if it's done. Oh, it's firm. Oh, that's very exciting. Okay. I'm going to take it out of this here thing now. How long is that? 44 minutes it took us to do that. Let's see. All right. It does look done. Feels done. Take a plate. Use your little handles that you lift it out and flip it over. Okay. Don't throw this away. This will be good for next time. Maybe give it a rinse off. Of course, if you have money to burn, then maybe you can just throw it away. But I have been using the same paper for a while. Take your little paper and then just fold it up like so and put it in your cupboard, and it'll be good for next time. The other thing is it really makes for easy cleanup. I mean, I'm just using a regular paper towel, wiping this out, and I'm done. I'm done. Like, how easy was that? And then I'm going to take my little raspberries and I'm going to put them right here on top. Et voila. Raspberry upside down cake. Okay, I need to get a knife. I can't believe that toaster oven worked. So exciting. Okay. I don't know what happened to the knife. Somewhere. Knife. Oh, dear. I don't cut myself in half. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take a picture of this before I head out. All right. And because we didn't use any leavener, it's going to be very dense, which is great for hand holding. Oh, and my dinner's ready all in one. And you can make these as thick or as thin as you want, but I usually try and make them in 8 equal spaces, and then I can just hold it and eat it. Mmm. Delicious. Mmm. That was fantastic. So give this a go today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is all for today. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed that one. I hope that you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Like, comment, subscribe, or ring the little bell. Make sure it's set to all so when I upload new content, YouTube notifies you. Oh boy, we got more in here. Okay, what does this says? Favorite fancy paper. Tomo isn't my favorite fancy paper anymore. Yeah, mine either. It's too expensive. Okay, right. Yes, slide guides. Yes, it's a free download. All you have to do is remember to save it as a PDF. When you download the file, it'll ask you what you want to save it as. Make sure that after the name of it, you put period PDF. And then when you go to print it, it'll print like a picture. That is raspberry upside down cake. What's my favorite paper? Is there no resource provided? Generous people like Dr. Joe and Marilyn. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. And just want to add that store 5 below is selling journals with ink friendly. Oh, it is ink friendly paper. Vietnam and cheap. Also, Daiso. Daiso is a really good store for doing calligraphy paper too. All right, fancy paper. 11, the Cosmo Light. Cosmo's good. I have not tried it, but I've seen many people that like it. I'm so glad. Thank you for reposting the link. I really appreciate that. Vietnam paper is usually very good. I just bought some CVS caliber note cards that were made in China, 3x5 note cards that were made in China that are relatively good for making ink swatch cards. Looks delicious. I don't see the link either. Well, if you go to the top of the screen, you'll see studio, or you can share it with a little share button that kind of looks like an arrow that's pointed like that. And if you click that share button, it'll open up and you can share it to Facebook and Twitter and all of your wonderful friends. And they will love, if you know someone that likes to bake, maybe this will be the one for them. Anyway, I'm going to go eat my dinner now. It was lovely hanging out with you folks. I will be back very soon with another video. So take care until then. Okay, love you. Bye. Have a great day. How do I end this thing? Okay, bye.